Introducing the #1 ice cream company in the world, Ben and Jerry's. Starting at partner #1 is Ben Conan. Starting at partner #2 is Jerry Greenfield. Ben and Jerry were childhood friends growing up in Brooklyn, New York. You can say that at a very young age. Ben drove an ice cream truck through high school while Jerry scooped cones in the cafeteria. Ben and Jerry opened their first ice cream scoop shop in Burlington, Vermont. The year was 1979. The initial investment cost the two close to $12,000. Over the next 20 years, Ben and Jerry grew the company into one of the best ran companies in the world. They were focused on things such as the environment, employees, and of course, their cows. But in 2000, suddenly, Ben and Jerry had zero control over their own company. Ben & Jerry Ice Cream Shop was bought by Unilever, the world's third largest consumer goods company in the world. Like most big companies, Ben & Jerry started to focus on profit. One of the biggest changes the company saw was employee downsizing. Not to worry though, Ben & Jerry's remained one of the best companies in the world to work for. Ben & Jerry's still contribute about $1.1 million to employee and community-based projects every year.
The mission of Ben & Jerry's Foundation is to engage Ben & Jerry's employees in philanthropy and social change work. Essentially, to give back to the Vermont communities and to support grassroots activism and community organizing for social and environmental justice around the country. Essentially, their interests are in furthering social justice, protecting the environment, and supporting sustainable food systems.
One of the great things about the foundation is it really strives to fund small groups who are not on the radar screen of mainstream funders. It's looking for radical groups. It's looking for grassroots organizers.
We decided to start the foundation with the idea that the foundation would be solely focused on progressive social change, changing the systems in our society that cause poverty. It was Martin Luther King who said that true compassion is more than flinging a coin at a beggar. It comes to see that a society that creates beggars needs to be restructured.
And the other great thing about the foundation is all the decisions are done by employee groups. The employees at Ben & Jerry's are the ones who do all the work that earns all the money for the company, and they should be the ones who get to figure out where the money goes.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do grassroots organizing, if you want to start empowering people who typically don't have those opportunities, why not start at home?
I like it. Let's do it.
Well, we do it.
Oh, well, let's give it away.
Yeah.
The foundation makes one-year funds for up to $20,000 to organizations with budgets under $500,000. Only organizations with nonprofit status are eligible to apply for this grant from Ben & Jerry's. The foundation focuses on the types of activities and strategies an organization uses for creating social change rather than on specific issues the organization is addressing. Ben & Jerry's Foundation will only consider proposals from grassroots, constituent-led organizations that are using community organizing and base building strategies to accomplish their goals. Strategies must include community outreach, leadership development, empowerment in decision making, popular education, root cause analysis, and campaign development. Ben & Jerry's philanthropy is led by Ben & Jerry employees who serve on committees that review grant proposals every year. Giving back to their Vermont communities happens through small grant programs and community service projects of their Vermont community action teams. They also have programs outside Vermont as pictured here. This is the Street Vendor Project. It's a grassroots, predominantly immigrant vendor-led organization. In dealing with social and economic justice in New York City, they've just achieved an historic victory with their Lower the Fines campaign, which reduces high and discriminatory penalties that vendors must pay for minor violations. In 2014, Ben & Jerry's Foundation was awarded the National Committee for Responsive Philanthropy Corporate Maker in 2014, the Impact Award. Pictured here with Ben & Jerry is Rebecca Golden and Lisa Pendolino. Rebecca is the Director of Programs for the Foundation, and Lisa is the Managing Director. Both serve a huge role in the success of the Foundation.
Ben & Jerry's is a passionate company that has established core values. Issues that they care about are peace building, climate justice, fair trade, they support GMO labeling, and marriage equality.
So now we can go buy our ice cream. All right, make ways.
Ben & Jerry's, as you know, has a three-part mission statement: product, social, and economic.
And especially the social mission part of it is probably why I've stayed with the company as long as I have.
I like that. Very good.
Our approach to social mission is to actually work our way from inside the pint out. So where we want to start is with the dairy. And so we made a stand on making sure that we support the family farmers from which we sourced our dairy so that they can have more sustainable, profitable family farms. And we work our way through the pint to the ingredients like sugar, cocoa, banana, coffee, vanilla. Those 5 core ingredients are all fair trade certified. As we get all the way to the packaging, how can this packaging be environmentally sustainable? So we get Forest Stewardship Council certified paperboard. As we prosper, they prosper.
We want to use our business and our business model of linked prosperity to show that the communities where we're sourcing our ingredients from, where we're selling our products, and where we manufacture our products are a part of the prosperity of our growing business.
And Ben & Jerry's, in the spirit of transparency and really trying to be a better company, decided to issue a social report and an environmental report.
Like the role of my team in Linked Prosperity is helping bring that visual identity to life.
To use this company to create positive change in the world. That's what I'm hired to do.
I don't even know why. Like I don't know why. It just feels like the right thing to do.
There are a lot of places you could work and spend your day wondering if you've made a difference.
Sometimes we succeed at that, sometimes we don't, but we're not faking it.
Everyone in the world gets a positive feeling, gets a happiness when they contribute, when they have a purpose, when they make a difference in their community.
Find your thumbs and give Fair Trade a thumbs up.
You know, we speak to the aspiring activist inside all of us.
There are little kind of flowers blooming around Linked Prosperity within the company right now. That feels really, really good.
It's an important part of our mission.
That gives us, at least in my mind, the credibility to be challenging others.
And again, it's not something that we're trying to hold for ourselves, it's something that we're trying to invite the whole world to join us in.
That and 3 free pints a day ain't bad either.
And now on to transparency and employee conditions. In October 2012, a quarter century after pioneering the socially responsible business movement, Ben & Jerry's became the first wholly owned subsidiary in the world with full support from their parent company, Unilever, to gain B Corp certification. B Corps are a new type of corporation that uses the power of business to solve social and environmental problems. B Corps must satisfy rigorous assessments by the nonprofit B Lab that covers corporate governance, worker benefits, community engagement, and environmental performance. Ben & Jerry's scored 89 points above the minimum 80 points to achieve B Corp certification. The B Corp recertification process happens every other year. The B Corp certification is the next chapter for socially responsible businesses, and Ben & Jerry's are proud to be an active player in the B Corp movement. Ben & Jerry's is committed to paying all of its workers a livable wage, and their livable wage policy covers all full-time and part-time employees in their Vermont manufacturing plants and in all of their company-owned scoop shops. In 1995, they established a method for calculating livable wage benchmark for Vermont. They defined it as starting a wage for a single person that will sustain a reasonable quality of life, including expenditures for housing, utilities, out-of-pocket health care, transportation, food, recreation, savings, taxes, and miscellaneous expenses. Since then, they have adjusted this wage annually to ensure the relative value is sustained in today's marketplace. Ben & Jerry's wage benchmark for 2013 was $6.13 per hour, up from $15.97 in 2012, $14.34 in 2011, and $14.64 in 2010. This hourly wage translates to $33,550 per year. Ben & Jerry's is an equal opportunity employer that values diversity in their workforce. One element of this commitment is the application of affirmative action practices to look for conspicuous imbalances in their workforce and take positive steps to correct them. Affirmative action plans focus on equality in hiring, training, promoting, and compensating employees. There were no areas in which statistically significant adverse impacts to their employees were found.
After examining some of Ben & Jerry's many variables, it is important to examine what the company is doing today. As Nathan touched on earlier, April of the year 2000 saw the acquisition of Ben & Jerry's by Dutch multinational food giant Unilever. Ben & Jerry's went from being a privately owned company to a subsidiary. As Nathan touched on earlier, April of the year 2000 saw the acquisition of Ben & Jerry's by Dutch multinational food giant Unilever. Ben & Jerry's went from being a privately owned company to a subsidiary. With the intention of being as egalitarian as possible, Ben & Jerry's has always implemented a pay structure to ensure that pay levels between top executives and lower ranking staff remains relatively equal. This is to enforce the notion that if executives and high ranking staff feel as though they deserve a pay rise, they have to also give the lower ranking staff a pay rise. When the company began, the pay ratio between higher and lower staff was 5:1. In the 90s, it increased to 7:1. And as of the 2000s, it's 17:1. The company felt that in order to attract top managerial talent, they would have to increase the amount it can offer to potential company leaders. Information for 2010 and beyond has not yet been released. Ben & Jerry's have engaged and continue to engage in select instances of activism. The causes vary, but they all share a righteous direction and prerogative. For example, on the 22nd of April 2006, which was Earth Day, Ben & Jerry's actively took part in opposing the US Senate's proposal to open up the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge to allow oil drilling. Ben & Jerry's believe that this would be detrimental to the natural landscape and environment in such a unique place, so they decided that they would petition by creating the largest ever baked Alaska, which is a dessert consisting of ice cream with a pie base topped with meringue. They placed the 900-pound Colossus in front of the US Capitol building. Ultimately, the proposal was rejected and the debate rages on. Another example of activism was in March 2009, when Cyclone Dairy announced that they would produce and sell milk from cloned cows, which raised controversy. On April Fool's Day that year, Ben & Jerry's announced that they were behind the hoax as a scheme to raise awareness for the emergence of foods produced from cloned animals. Ben & Jerry's announced their belief that there should be a national clone tracking system. Like all businesses, Ben & Jerry's faces problems and has had to implement new products to adapt to an ever-changing market environment. In February 2012, in response to a high demand for alternative dairy treats, Ben & Jerry's started producing a Greek frozen yogurt line. The original 8 flavours were strawberry shortcake, blueberry vanilla graham, raspberry fudge chunk, banana peanut butter and vanilla. In April 2013, a further 3 flavours were added, which includes pineapple passion fruit, vanilla honey caramel and Liz lemon. People of today are more aware, educated and concerned about genetically modified organisms, and in response, Ben & Jerry's began to label their products that had utilised GMO. In 2013, they ceased using products of GMO entirely. Ben & Jerry's are a very proactive, invigorative and environmentally aware company that do a lot to stay green, ensure fair pay practices are implemented and are willing to take a stand where they see a cause that needs support. Next time you're craving some ice cream, get some Ben & Jerry's. You could do worse, you sure as hell won't regret it.